welcome to Cat the Minion Patreon. My name is Theresa, but you can call me Cat. I'm doing the weekly overview with charms. So I've got the Cairo Marchetti Legacy deck here. I've got the Work Your Light Oracle. And I've also got my phrase deck that I made. So, and the box of charms. The charms! So I'm going to lay out these cards. There should be 3 for each day slot. And I'm going to write these down because I'm going to screw it up if I say it out loud before doing it. So let me get this. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday. Saturn. Let's see. Sunday is the Sun. Moon. Mars. Mercury. Venus. Jupiter. Okay. Alright. So Sunday is the Sun, Monday's the Moon, Tuesday is Mars, Wednesday is Mercury, Thursday is Venus, Friday is Jupiter, and Saturday is Saturn. I'm not supposed to have 4 cards for this. So, like I said, I'm going to lay out these cards. Those are just, like, which planets are ruling the days. So, when we got Sunday, so this reading is for the 6th through the 12th, roughly, depending on when you get to it. So we're going to have Leo energy for Sunday. So we got Venus in Leo, so we might have some of that playing out for Sunday. Moon is on Monday. Now we had a full moon in Pisces, so we might be experiencing some after effects of that energy. For example, Tuesday Mars is in Aries, it's gonna go retrograde. So that might be what we're experiencing for Tuesday. Some of that energy. Mercury, so we're in Virgo right now, and then we also have that Gemini North Node. And Venus and Leo. So we might have the same energy coming in for Sunday and Thursday. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I need one more. Friday, Jupiter energy, which is going to be going direct in Capricorn pretty soon. And then Saturn is that Capricornian energy, but Saturn is still retrograde anyway. Also in Capricorn, I believe, right now. I don't want to count that again. Just in case any clarifiers, I guess I could leave these out. So that's what's going on and what it is. But we're going to flip these cards over and get some more insights as to... I don't know where that goes. Give me Sunday. Sunday. Now, I did get those horoscope readings done for September for Patreon here, and I got the bi-weekly horoscopes by element done for YouTube, and I'm just, as I'm recording this, I'm getting those set up, getting them all rendered or whatever the hell. And so if you're into those longer horoscopes but you feel like you want updates, you can check on those bi-weekly energies. Some energies that are similar to the card of the day, but that's to be expected during the same time period. Essentially, you could get different wheel within a wheel readings if you're watching them both on Patreon and on YouTube. I've heard that there's apparently a newish deck that matches this Work Your Light Oracle, I guess by the same people, and I kind of want that. Sometimes there's just too much pink on these for me, but I was compelled to get them by a dream, and they're actually quite potent, so I don't mind them. But it's a lot. It's a lot of pink. It'll be Sunday. Monday. Blue here. Tuesday. Okay, half the deck. So we got a pair for Tuesday here. So me and my Shadow Mars over there. My deck is all mangled. What the hell, man? What in my ass? Another double for... I'm not taking all three of those. That's ridiculous. Double for Wednesday. Wednesday's child is full of... Whoa! Reminds me of that Monkeys song. Saturday's child. I made it funny. I made it funny and I made myself laugh. Another blue one. Look at this color palette here. Saturday's got to be different. Saturday. Alright, so let's throw down some charms here so I don't have to get them after. Whoa. Chatty Cathy over there. That whale just is right on the precipice there. I don't know if that's supposed to be there or not. Alright, I guess that's good enough. Let's leave this here. I know what that is. Alright, where am I? 12 minutes. I got I've got everybody in there too. That's great. I usually have to adjust it, but I guess I'm doing better with the camera today. Adjusting. I guess that's pretty good. Okay. I think this is a tree, but it kind of looks like a mushroom cloud in that oeuvre. Sunday. Alright, so we have the tree going the other way, and we have a sea turtle. Again. It rains all the time. Okay. So this is, it doesn't rain all the time, or I'm only happy when it rains. So we have 89. So we have strength and or justice, and the Hermit, or 17 the Star, which breaks back down to 8. So we get this idea of Neptune and Uranus, especially with this blue card. We also get a little bit of like the earth and the sea. Right, we're not staying on land, we're going under the water, right? Like water world. It's like I don't know. It's like I don't know if I'm happy or sad about my emotions, but they just happen to be there. Star Mother, how can you mother yourself? Okay, so this has to do with nurturing, which is, you know, again, this is like I don't know what to do with my emotions, but they're there. If you're nurturing, then you'll be able to work through them. And as you can see, she's wearing blue as well to match the card. She's very much with these flowers here. It's very much in the heart center, the emotions lie. But I also see the moon here, which has to do with the deeper and darker emotions. Okay, so I'm getting Simon and Garfunkel. In a deep and dark December, I am a rock, I am an island. And an island never cries. And a rock feels no pain. So this is trying to figure out how to work through your emotions. So now we have star here, and then 17 the star, right? So we have stars plural, right? So I feel like we have to, this is dealing with alignment. We have death, number 13, breaking down to a 4. 17 breaks back down to 8. 8 and 4 is 12. The Hanged Man, which is Piscean energy. Water. Neptune, which is currently retrograde, but it's sort of like Neptune retrograde is giving the opportunity to ride the big wave, right? The big kahuna kind of a deal there. You know, like learn how to body surf your own emotional content. The star being there is just, you know, Aquarius all day long, but the Neptune energy is also very strong. But then we also have Pluto here, so we have all these outer planets, right? What are the things that are like in the outer reaches of my personality that I tend to ignore and focus on the stuff that's more in front of me? All of these planets are retrograde right now, but they're coming in upright. So we have this transformative cycle here. But it also is sort of dealing with the foundational issue, you know, like getting into the bedrock. So it might seem scary. You know, it's like, why is disaster always happening for me? But no, I like it this way. Scorpionic energy, so we have more water. The moon is Cancer, that's water as well. What is that, the Beatles lyrics? The rain come and something in your head. The rain come and sit inside your head, you might as well be dead. I think that's something, I think it's like that. It might not be an exact quote, but it's pretty close. So this is Sunday. Now what's interesting is that Sunday we're getting moon and water energy, right? It's like, oh, it's cloudy out. It storms your head, buddy. Alright, so let's look at Monday. So the charm that's on here before I flip these over, this is like a charm that's similar to the Six of Pentacles. This is like raggy gloves with the hands held out and a fancy glove that can afford to you know, to give to charity. Which is weird because I referenced the Beatles and it's, you know, the glove, like in Yellow Submarine, where they finally win at the end and they turn it into a lovely glove instead of a strangly glove. No glove, no love. I'm starting to gain some insight. After all that water, I would fucking hope so. And there's the 13, there's that death again. So we have the 8 again, that strength, and then 5 for the pivot. Or also justice. Council of Light. Divine orchestration, helpers, wow. I like how I tried to say helpers and subtle at the same time. Let me get those L P's in there. Helpers in the subtle realms. Yeah, look at all those L's. It's the elves. Look, honey, Elvi. And there's the High Priestess, which is kind of like what I was getting from here, but I forgot to mention it. So she is ruled by the moon, but I associate her with Pisces, so it's giving me that same energy. We have some wisdom coming in here, right? I'm starting to gain the insight. You're just talking about on Fade to Black Radio last night how those guys with the man bags were also carrying pomegranates too, and wasn't listening to the conversation enough to remember what the hell they were talking about. But she's coming up out of the water, which is great. So she's gaining some insight, and she's getting this download from the Council of Light. They're appearing here as this owl and the scroll, right? I'm getting a little help from my friends, the download. Drop the slot in the machine and it starts to go. I'm going to start another segment. Oh, speaking of ancient history and stuff, now this is a ferry going the other way, which is exactly like those extra dimensional helpers. But now it's like, it was going the other way, but I'm getting this idea of, hey, listen. Hey, listen. I tried to draw this as androgynous, so it might not be like a female. It could be like a fair dude. The Fae. And here's a pyramid. So this can represent knowledge. It can represent ancient history. But it's this idea of sort of magical. But here it's like there's something going away. I'm not quite sure why that fairy's going backwards, but we'll see. An inverted fairy. That sounds like a sexual position. I'm sorry. But anyway, the pyramid. Also dealing with hemispherical geometry. So we might be dealing with the Earth. Or it could also be this idea of... I think this idea that there used to be like the council people used to be on Earth. And people used to interact with them in a more physical way, but they only exist in the subtle realms now, so people tend to have a harder time gaining access to the information, and they have to look for it because over time it's become more obscure. Okay. My mantra begins, right, trying to access the realms, going into meditation. When I was picking this up, it looked like it said my mom. Star Mother. So we have 1. So this is the magician number as well. So we have the magician and the high priestess, which is important because I said that this was supposed to be an androgynous fae and not necessarily a female. A little Peter Pan kind of outfit with a shag hair. Androgynous fae. Oh, there's a pair here. Are they poisonous? 187. So this breaks down to 16, which is the tower, which goes back to 7, and then we have 8 again. Right? I'm looking, like, I'm trying to jack into this subtle realm, but are these monsters or are they friends? Right? It's like, are you gonna turn scary and bite me, and then I'm gonna, like a mosquito, and then I'm gonna have West Nile virus? Like, what the hell, man? I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. So, wow, this came out with a pyramid. Are you kidding me? Bast there. And the DNA. So we have a DNA activation here. Transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. So that has to do with the water too, because the water is essentially the cells. Right? It's all... everything's water. But we did have death, and then there was a 13, and one of the alternate words for death is transformation. Alright, so it might... you know, it doesn't rain all the time here in the desert, but you should be happy when it does, because that means that when those emotional floodwaters abate, the land, i.e. your personal internal body, the cells are transformed. It's washing away all these like cellular memories that create tension in the body. That's why it feels like it's poison, because it's like when it releases the toxins, you might get sicker for a little bit. And that's why it feels like your little healing thing, like is it in Zelda? The fairy, and then you suck the life out of the fairy and you can keep playing or something. I think that's why this is backwards. I haven't actually played that game, except for once a really long time ago. So we have a strength inverted. Number 8. Now there was an 8 here. And again, like I said, you might feel sick for a little bit because all those toxins are being released. So there would be this moment of weakness, but we also have the sun energy here inverted. It brings it back to that moon water. So it's flushing the system, basically. So that was Tuesday. Martian energy. So let's get into Wednesday. So now I noticed I have the Nautilus here, but it's going the other way. Again, but we have this water elemental here. Now I did, interestingly enough, for yesterday, let's say, I'm recording this on the 4th, and for the September 3rd card of the day, the image that I used for the thumbnail, I wanted a spiral, so I used my Nautilus drawing that I made in 2007, which is somewhat similar to this, but a lot fancier. So this is also the idea of the phi ratio of exponential growth. But again, we also have this idea of water, and then we have a cephalopod. It's giving me that Foothills of the Headlands thing, which is another Beatles reference there. But this idea of, like, movement creates a link up to the brain in that way. What's this? Oh, okay. So also going the other way, I have this vending machine. Little plastic things with slime in them, or little rings, or little spiders, or whatever. I get this idea of, like, I'm not going to hit the feeder bar anymore. Because I'm going deeper within. I'm not just going to, you know, have cheap materialism to try to feed myself. I'm gaining more knowledge, which started here. So here we have geometry and history and a little notebook here with a pen next to it, a pencil. Alright, so I'm taking notes on this insight that's coming in. I'm going deeper into spiraling deeper into my own emotional consciousness and away from just sort of, I need stuff to make me feel better. This is mercurial energy. So we've got Virgo energy, which I had spontaneously discovered is like the inner child of the Empress. And what do we have but this vending machine for children here? So we have troublesome, frustrating goblins all up in your work, undoing your labor, although sometimes helpful. So I feel like that goes back to that fairy. It's like, are they poisonous? Are they going to bite me? Well, you know, sometimes it do be like that. Then we have Angel Demabia helps you focus on your solar or sacral chakra. So we have 94 breaking down to a 13, which is that death energy again. But then we also have 20, which is judgment. And I also feel like in your studies, it's your job to discern this trickster energy that could be either there for a lesson or trying to help you propel forward, and people that are there to honestly help you. Like, it might be flashy, it might be like, ooh, what's this? This is exciting. But then you find out that, you know, the slime that you really wanted is stuck to your hands and it gets over everything. You have to clean it and it's a pain in the ass. But then you realize after having to clean the slime off of everything that your house is suddenly clean, and it's what you wanted to do for the last 6 months, but you didn't have the energy. You know, so it's sort of those, it could be one of those, like an angel in disguise, but it could also be just a pain in your ass, depending. But we still have movement, and we still have transformation. Right, but also, this, like I said, movement that goes right into your head. Right, I'm experiencing movement, but I've had to really push through with my mind to get it. I have to have discernment. Oh, whoops, I'm not done with this pile yet. Mintakan, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. Now we have a mermaid here, which is another creature of multiple worlds and emotional content. We have this thing here. So it's sort of like this idea of finding out who you really are by going deeper into your emotional content. It's like, I don't need to hit that feeder bar. I can go deeper. Let me just take a minute and see what's going on first. Let me have some discernment before I dive in. So then we have the Devil, and I feel like the way this spun out when I was on the table that it should be in the challenge position. Right? Saturn's gonna go direct in Capricorn at the end of the month. We have 15. Breaking down to 6, which could be healing. But I also see the you know, it also breaks down into 3 5s. It's like 3 shifts. We're in 3rd gear now. We're ready to get this machine going. Alright. Wednesday. So now we're doing Thursday. Okay, I guess this charm goes with this pile. I need a little bit of water. And then I got a boat here, too. I have the rowboat. I have it. I've got it. I have the rowboat in the water. So for me, my little rowboat charm here is indicative, but not exclusively, of the 6 of Swords. That's sailing away from the bullshit card. Now what's interesting is that it was kind of at like this. Kind of in the going deeper. When the 6 of Swords is inverted, it tells me we need to go deeper, and it gives me that Plutonian energy, that scorpionic energy of traveling down into the underworld, into Hades, where the death is, to seek more enlightenment or information or clarity. You know, 6 is, since you can't split cards in half, it's like a half-death card in some aspects. I'm dumping the water out of the bottom of the boat. Speaking of dumping the bottom, I have the shorts inverted as well. I'm dumping the sand out of my crack too. So going the other way, these charms were flipped over. I have the record player and the camera. These both record things, and together they make up a video camera, which I don't have an individual thing of. I'm making snapshots. I'm taking dictation. I don't want to see you. I don't want to talk to you. I'm dumping your ass, and I'm gonna go into the depths and really figure out what's going on here. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be a person. It doesn't have to be a relationship breakup, but it has to do with an attitude towards something that's a grievance against you. Not like A as in a singular and then the word grievance. People think I'm making up words over here. Obsessed with your story, social media, and manipulation. Right? I'm dumping your ass. I'm not going to keep looking at your Snapchat. I'm not going to keep listening to your TikToks. Or your SoundCloud or whatever the fuck. You know? Short stories. So we have 432, so we could have 7, we could have 5, and then we could have 9 here. This idea, again, I said of going within because the boat was turned, and movement, and a pivot. Lemuria, creating heaven on earth, it's happening. Now this came out inverted, so that's like a delay or a confusion, right? It's like I'm working my way towards a better experience for myself, but I still need to figure out what's going on here, right? The creation of it is taking a little bit longer because I'm still working on the discernment. Where are we at here? Venus. Right? I'm in the passion side of things. I've got a strong will, but I'm not quite sure where to turn where I'm navigating to yet. We have the Ace of Coins, so we do have this ability to manifest, which came out here, right? Creating heaven on earth, it's happening. So I'm starting out at the outset, and I'm ready to do something. I just heard to make that change, right? I'm looking at the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. Make that change. So I don't remember the whole lyrics because he sings them quickly in the middle part. One of the other lyrics is something like, it could have been any clearer, which is also relevant. Alright, so let me get on to Friday here. So Jupiter energy rules the wheel, which is also part of that movement and turning, and of course 2 pivots. It's like taking a 180. That's really getting that wheel spinning. So we have the whale here. Took its sweet ass time to pop out, but it does take a while to get all the way down in there, and then the idea of the whale going all the way down, right, further than the boat can go, and then being able to stay down there for a while and really dig into what's down there in the depths of the subconscious and those emotional waters, and then coming back up and expelling all that air with the, what's it called when they blow out the blowhole, the spume or whatever, I don't know. Anyway, they blow out all this emotion and water, like water and air, thoughts and emotions, and then they take in new air, like they gain a new perspective after they've come back up and just sort of let out what they've soaked up. Now going the other way, I cannot brain today, I have the dumb. Right? It's like I'm not going to just be swallowed up and numbed by my own emotional content, right? I'm not just going to numb myself and play dumb to the world and just do whatever. I'm going to really go in there. I'm going to turn myself around and get out of these blinds. This is my favorite thing ever. It's so stupid. Having it easy is not a blessing, right? Ignorance is bliss. Not necessarily. Tain't necessarily so. Right? It's a lack of opportunity for maturity. So we have 8 and 4, strength and foundation, or the Emperor, right? That Aries energy. Mars about to go retrograde in Aries. And then we have strength and or justice here. Breaking down to 12, the Hangman, Neptune energy, currently retrograde, but we have that emotional water thing coming back here again. But the Hangman, getting those downloads. Right? I mean, this is essentially the cat version of the Hangman, but it should be like this. But we're getting enlightenment, we're not just hanging around. Akasha. Your guidance is divinely guided, as I just said. The Akashic Records here. The Hall of Records looking quite similar to how it looked in my dream when I saw it. Not too shabby. Right on the water there, but also those books nearby. Those books. I'm surprised the scroll didn't flop out too. Burks! And the 7 of Swords. So we have Aquarius energy and the moon. The moon in Aquarius. It's this idea of communication and the darkness. But this is sort of like a Thief in the Night card. This is sort of, you know, lack of maturity here. But what happens is you get caught in that devil energy and you sort of get stuck on the foundation and not able to build anything else. You're sort of chained to the rock that you built. But this is an opportunity for a shift here. Because Uranus is retrograde. And whatever energies haven't caught up to turn this card over are going to do so very shortly. this is the thief, right? He's coming in to steal all the swords. I'm like, yes, I want this information, and then ends up getting caught in the window like this. He should have swum through that drain pipe instead, man. Alright, what is Saturday? Interesting already. I see the Zeusophone here, the Tesla towers with the lightning and the music and the stuff between them. This gives me Aquarius energy in particular because we have air, but we also have the water bearer, which is actually just current. Electrical current, which is what this is. We also have a duality here. One side and the other, positive and negative. So we have an energy continuum, kind of. The door, which is... Oh, Jesus Christ. The door, which is a gateway. Will Aerosmith take me to the other side? And the shield. Right, it's like shields up, we're going to open the energy grid. It's a little bit like a portal. And then we have storage here. So this is also like a resistor, like storing energy. Now what's going the other way here? Okay, so we have the cake and the F-bomb going the other way. So when faced with this opportunity for sort of electric expansion, where it feels like it could be dangerous, some people are going to say, fuck this noise, I'm out of here. And other people are going to be like, well, I don't want to do it because it's not a piece of cake. It looks hard. No, that's too phallic. I'm going to leave it like that. 3 times around. Okay, so I said the wheel and then I said 180. But the way I wrote this, it looks like it says ground, like grounding, like with a triple prong. But I see 16 here, and it's in that's the tower. But it could also be 7, or the magician in healing, Gemini. 3 times around. It's like building up the resistance in the circuit and below the stack. Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? So here's the High Priestess again. But it's like, are you answering the phone? Your electrical system needs an upgrade. You gotta get to that 5G. Can you hear me now? It's like, hey, can you hear me? It's like, how about the 3rd time? I heard you the 1st time. Okay. 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 As I said, here's the magician, but he's inverted. So we have Gemini, the twins, we have the magician, and then we have the High Priestess. So that North Node, Gemini is Mercurial, it's also ruling Virgo. The High Priestess is the moon energy, but I see her as Pisces. The magician is giving me, well, technically, he's also Mercurial energy. So he's coming in kind of as one of the twins, but it's like they want to be the chariot, but there's an imbalance. And this particular magician is very electric. He's not grounded. He's not earthed. It's another Beatles reference. And I said, that looks like I wrote ground. So in this essence, and also because the masculine energy is about to go retrograde, that sort of ego last showdown of Mars in Aries is sort of, it's turning inside out on itself. It's about to go under. And I think at that point, it's sort of like digging under the building to fix the wiring so that the tower can get back up. It's like, oh, fuck, this isn't easy. Meanwhile, this other half of the twins 6 duality, the priestess, is like, okay, well, you don't have to do a lot, you don't have to do the work for the magician, but you need to stay jacked into the system, essentially. But you don't have to do it for anyone else. It's just your own personal calling, your way to nurture yourself and be in your own power, right? So it's not like she's better than he is. It's this type of energy has already gone through its retrograde phase and faced challenges over the few months when Venus was retrograde. And now it's this type of energy's turn. This sort of linear... I was going to say cock at a cow. Wow. This is like a magic trick, and this is more like special effects, right? Like, I've created it diligently in a lab with my tools and, you know, did it methodically. And this is, you know, I just drew this thing and it's fine. I made a pentagram. I made a rendering and the thing and the electronics in the program. That's the difference between the energies. So that's the week there. It's literally figuratively a magical mystery tour. I'm surprised I didn't get the Fool card. Alright, so that is the week on tap here for the 6th through the 12th of September here, 2020, or whenever you happen to see this. So if you want to get a personal reading, let's see if I can... Okay, I'm afraid to do that anymore because it might get angry. Maybe a little bit. Nope. Okay. So fussy. Alright. Me more than the thing. So if you want to get a personal reading, you can hit me up, thecatcameback@camp@gmail.com. The complete list of readings I have and how much they are listed in the description box of my infomercial video, which I have been trying to remember to post in the little description here below the video on Patreon. So if you're already here, then you're already supporting, but if you want to donate extra at any time for any reason, you can hit me, that tip jar there, paypal.me/cattheminion. I also have Cash App and Venmo, and then I have the merch and prints and coloring books. And if you're here on Patreon, you may have already seen the PDF link to my catalog here, so you can get more chapbook packs, you can get the art a la carte pieces, you can get made to order items as well. So that's all there in with those links, again, in that description box of the infomercial video, or you can just email me and I'll send you that stuff there. Alright, so if you're feeling frisky, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out the playlists tab over there, the discussion tab, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that happy stuff. And stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.